day 13. Yeah, I'm recording this out in the patio with Macy right on the side here. It's pretty hot, so she gets ice cubes out of the water dish. Okay, policy, guidelines, standards, regulations. So we talk about moving, you have standards, you have regulations all the way up to laws that you need to enforce. Today, the students did some research, ethics and technology, and gosh, we had talking about data, who owns it, how we use it, is it private, examples, leadership in business, can you trust them, are they good examples for their employees? I thought it was really interesting, artificial intelligence used to hire people. Hopefully it'll make their more diverse, plus there's just going to be a lot of ethical issues, wrapped around AI and what it does and how it manages certain parts of our lives, like driving our car. Okay, Forbes had an article, and it was in the chat. They talked about the cost of 5G, children's rights. I saw the link is in the chat. That was from one of the students. Facebook and the previous issues and future issues. The digital divide, the cost of 5G from Forbes. Society, okay. How society affects us in terms of influencing, how it's changed and so forth, tech ethics, personal weaknesses, social media, daily knowledge, how we use it, who uses what, and so forth. And then the internet, the fact that except for the tier 1 providers, it's kind of wide open. Yes. We did some work on ACLs, and then we talked about the business plan. Okay, we said make sure you have peer review, we know who, careful how you choose words, make sure it's clear, and we said overview versus policy. A lot of people kind of melted from an overview into the policy. Okay, policy would be more specific, is that a better way to say it? An overview is describing, like, we have a password policy. The password policy is about securing access to our infrastructure, our resources, and our assets. Then the policy would specifically say what would be true about passwords, like length and changing date and all that stuff. Okay? And then we're working towards writing a policy. So our next step, why do you have the category? Make sure it fits your business. And what's, the purpose of it. Doesn't make sense of having a purpose. Then what does it cover? The technology parts, software, hardware, and which people? Just employees or clients or whatever it might be. Okay. So then asked if there are any questions. I sent an email and have it in the course, the NIAC security policy. Who approves it? Does the board have to approve it? Can anybody just write it, or somebody in between? Okay. I jokingly said the help desk, internal or external, as far as approving policies. Then we did some VPN work. That's not recorded, but I VP'd into our area remotely, and then did a remote desktop. We looked at some features there and so forth. Previously, a few days back, I VP'd into the main campus. And within there, we talked a little bit about split tunnel. Okay. Linux secure environment, apply security measures, some of the key things, make sure your groups have access. So you're talking about, is it confidential, is the data accurate, and is it available? I mentioned about writing scripts. I'll show some PowerShell tomorrow. Make sure everything's documented. Give the source if you copied any scripts from off the internet. Backup, configurations, the data, and anything else you might need in order to get the system back up if this system was gone. Access to the data, availability. That makes sense. Get the system up to allow for availability. Document flow. Yeah, have an abstract overview, executive summary at the beginning so somebody will know what the document's about. Electronic portfolio. Yeah, couldn't spell it during class, drew a blank. But anyway, electronic portfolio may need later on, and you'd want it well documented. Testing, cross group, make sure people are testing how their communications works. It's kind of like pin testing, make sure things are secured and safe. You can kind of double check each other's work. You'll have to communicate in order to get that done. And the last thing, so to finish up today, we have the Palo Alto materials from their academy. Okay, so computing trends. We talked a little bit about moving to the cloud, and we had the example of Wellmark moving everything, the medical insurance company moving everything to AWS. We had a speaker speak to us about that. We talked a little bit about how mobile devices are entering the world, just even at NIAC, when students come in and have their mobile device hooked up to the network. High profile attacks. This is big time crime now. Okay, it's not script kiddies anymore. And it's gotten more that way, especially with this advanced persistent threats. They're just not going to go away. We talked about the life cycle of an attack, and then there's a whole part of techniques. Malware, spamming. And you get some new terms every while, like texting spam, email spam. How difficult it is to control bots, zombies, creating a botnet, and then a command and control center that manages those. It's hard to disable that. Okay, and then the different things they can do from that, like example would be a denial of service, or this would be a distributed denial of service. Talked a little bit about vulnerabilities we create that allow exploits. Then how do we create enough patches to cover the vulnerability in time? It's like we're behind the hackers, and thus we get these 0-day attacks that are hard to manage. So one approach, and we'll be talking more on Wednesday, next generation firewalls. Okay, they may or may not use AI and machine learning, but they view traffic and then make decisions based on patterns, like anomalies or things that are different. Okay, and yeah, it's really important. We're going to that, and then I keep talking about the term zero trust. Let me write that here in another color. Zero trust. We previously had a perimeter idea. Secure the perimeter, don't let the bad guys in, then we're safe on the inside. But that is not true anymore. All right, we'll continue the discussion on Wednesday.